Welcome and thank you for joining myself and Denise for a bit of a roundup of this year, second year on YouTube. Doesn't time fly? So through the same sort of format that I did last year, looking for each month and trying to pick a highlight for that month. Well, I hope you enjoy. The year commenced with a lovely trip down to Farlington Marshes. It was a gorgeous, bright winter's day. And the short-tailed owl came out to hunt in the evening light. Later in the month, the temperatures dropped and Levels Lake started to freeze over, but that didn't seem to put off these Egyptian geese from being rather vocal. Trip down to Fish Lake Meadows, and for me one of the first times I've seen the great white egret. I was really quite interested watching his fishing technique. And a trip down to Arn was rewarded by again another first for me, these lovely spoonbills. With March, it was a sort of one of the last opportunities for me to catch up with the red deer with their antlers, and it appeared as if they were making use of them before they shed them. And with another trip to Lavelles for the bittern, whilst waiting patiently for dusk, this great crested grebe entertained, showing that he was really determined to eat this fish despite the size. As dusk came and the light started to fade, the bittern came out from the reeds, and you can see just how well they blend in. Early April is just right time before the leaves come out to try and spot the Chettis warbler. And a trip to Greenham Common, and I managed successfully find a pair of Dartford warblers. And it was great to watch this female moving along the top of the gorse. Later in the month, it's a bit of a holiday for us up at Bentham Cliffs, and Denise found great pleasure in watching these puffins. And with the summer migrants arriving on our shores, it was a chance for me to see the common whitethroat. Followed by, well, the rather noisy and gregarious sedge warbler. My firm favourite for this month was the nightingale. And I finished off with a few trips for our resident skylark. With the warm summer evenings, it's a chance for me to hear this, well, otherworldly birdsong from the nightjar. In contrast, at Farnham Heath have this slightly more attractive call from the Dartford warbler. I think this view of the road here is probably my favourite of the year. It's on Farnham Heath. Lovely morning, and the light just caught this buck perfectly with the last bits of velvet hanging on. And another trip down to Arn. I'd love to see the seeker in their summer coats with this stag just starting to lose that jet black velvet to reveal the antlers beneath. August and the ospreys at Fish Lake Meadows. Awesome bird to film. Watching them catch, well, quite impressive sizes of fish. Birds catching rather large fish seem to be a bit of a theme for the year. This common tern, it seems as if he's got a roach too big for it. But no, he seemed well determined. September and the rut, and I think this particular trip was my favourite, with the strong winds and rain. I was managed to observe these deer in total solitude, and I think for that just made it a very special day. The fallow deer rut is an awesome spectacle, and I was rewarded for that early start by this fight between two of the more mature bucks. My first trip to Otmore in Oxfordshire was rewarded with this fabulous dusk and a spectacular starling murmuration. And a perfect end to the year. Seeing these bearded tits, I think you must agree they are such beautiful birds. Well, like me, I hope there were a few firm favourites. Certainly the bearded tits right at the end there in December were just absolutely fabulous. And I think a real positive for me, and something that's a bit humbling, is meeting the odd subscriber as I've been filming, being recognised as, well, a bit of a novelty still for me. And I'd like to sort of thank all the people that have supported me over the last 2 years now, giving those positive comments and feedback. Those likes and subscribes really do make a difference. So both of us wish you a really happy new year, and fingers crossed for a successful 2024.